Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be a little bit different than the other videos. It's just going to be a short video giving you all an update to one of the first videos I did, which was my gear list for this thru hike. So a lot of stuff has changed since I started the hike. Some things worked, some things didn't. Sent some stuff home, bought some new stuff. So in this video, I'm going to go through all that with you. More to come. So started the trail with the Versa chest pack. This is how I've been wearing it on my chest. I've worn it on my hip a few times, didn't like it, so it's usually up on my chest. In this, I keep my wallet, ID cards, stuff like that in a Ziploc in the front. And then I usually carry chapstick with tape, Leuco tape, little packets of electrolytes or energy boost that I put in the water. My wife brought me the AirPods in Damascus, so I've usually been using these. I'm a little worried about dropping them or losing them, but so far I really like having them. It is one more thing to charge, but usually I only use one, and the case charges the AirPods throughout the day, so I can usually make it 4 or 5 days with AirPods without needing to recharge them. In the main compartment, I'll have my sunglasses. I'll have a beanie, and then when I need to charge my phone, I'll have one of the cables, and then a battery bank. I usually keep vitamin I and Aleve, and then just some other stuff. Usually a buff, something like that, that I'll keep in the main compartment. Anything that I need for the day, that I need easy access to, I'll usually put it in here. Okay, so working on the outside of the pack. This has not changed much. This is kind of my privy bag or bathroom bag. So in here I have wet wipes. I have the travel bidet, which I have yet to use because it's just been too cold, but I'll use it maybe if it gets hot or if I run out of toilet paper or something like that. But I'll have a roll of toilet paper, and then wet wipes, the bidet, hand sanitizer, and that's pretty much it. And that stays on the outside of my pack. I just recently started carrying my sleep pad on the outside. Sometimes it'll be on top, but I've recently started putting it in the mesh. So I started out with a just a regular Nemo, and then shortly after the Smokies, I bought a regular wide, and this is what Rapture has as well. And I noticed immediate improvement in my sleep because I'm a stomach sleeper, side sleeper, and the extra width really makes a big difference. So I still have the Crocs for water crossings and camp shoes. I don't really like them. So actually tomorrow we'll be in town and there's Cabela's. I'm going to be looking for different camp shoes. Maybe something like a sandal or something like that, that'll just be a little bit smaller. Also on the outside, I have my rain jacket. This is the Outdoor Research Helium 2. Do I like it? No, not really. It gets wet after it rains. I think pretty much every rain jacket does. But I do like it for wind, and when it's just sprinkling out, it does help keep me a little drier. So I have rain pants, and I think I've worn these 2 or 3 times. So I've been in shorts pretty much this entire thru hike. I don't have any other pants that I brought with me. Learned this from Rapture as well. It's a clothespin, so when I have wet socks or wet towel or something that I need to dry as I hike, I just attach that here and let the sun dry it. Okay, so still have the Garmin Inreach Mini. I have this set to, I think, hour intervals, so really this thing will last probably a week because it's only pinging every hour or so. I don't really see a need to have it ping more than that unless I'm meeting someone, then I might bump it down. So I did buy the, I think it's $70 a month, the unlimited plan, so I can text when I don't have a signal and I don't really need to worry about an allotment of how many messages I can send. Really, I haven't used it a whole lot. I've heard up north the Verizon service is not as good, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll be using it more once I get up north. In fact, I need to turn that off because I'm at camp now. Okay, so still only carry two 1 liter bottles. You can see the aqua clip here. That's what I usually have. I usually have two, one on each. Broke one the other day, so now that's a total of 3 that I've broke. They're only a couple dollars, so the wife's sending me new ones, but I like these things because I can put them on my hip belt right here and it's kind of out of the way. If anyone wants an idea on how to make some money, make one of those in titanium or some sort of lightweight metal so they don't break. But what I've noticed, when it gets cold in the morning, that's usually when they become brittle and they'll break. So this is the original, one of the original bottles that I started with. Unfortunately, I lost the other one in Hamilton, Tennessee at a river crossing. Maybe one of them will make it to Katahdin with me. So one of those bottles will go in one of these outer pockets. That's where I keep the 2 liter bladder as well as the Sawyer squeeze. Both of these have been awesome. Haven't had any problems with them. I would say 99% of thru hikers that I've seen have the Sawyer squeeze. And that's it. So if you remember from my original video, I started because all the gear know-it-alls online said that a 3.5 R value sleep pad would not be enough because it gets too cold. So I started with the inflatable that you just saw, and I had one of these underneath it just to give me a little bit more R value. The thing was really bulky and hard to carry and really didn't see a need for it. It did serve another purpose in protecting the sleep pad, but I think it was hot springs. I decided to get rid of it. So what I did is just cut 3 sections. So this is now a sit pad that I carry. It's a lot easier to carry. And then I put the rest of it in a hiker box, which someone took right away because it served as, you know, 3/4 length sleep pad for someone. And then still using the titanium spoon. This worked out great, especially for the half-gallon challenge, because Yak was breaking his plastic spoon. That is pretty much it. I do have the deuce of spades that I keep handy there. And then in the hip pockets, this is where I keep all my snacks for the day, which I can fit quite a few things in there. As far as the pack, I like the pack. It's fairly comfortable. I am seeing some wear on the very bottom. Like right there, if you can see, there's a little hole. I think there's another one. Yeah, back here. There's a little hole. So there's another guy I've been hiking with who has the junction as well. He reached out to Hyperlite because he had some issues there and they sent him a new pack. I'm not sure I need that at this point, but I'm, hit them up and see what they say. Everything should be still covered in warranty. Okay, if you remember, I started with the Black Diamond, I think they're Alpine carbon trekking poles with the cork handles. But they were chewed up by rodents from a previous backpacking trip. So when my wife came out to Damascus, I had her bring hers, which you're looking at right now. and she took those ones home. So I've had these since Damascus, so about, well, over 500 miles, I guess. They've been all right, foam grips, but you can't see it because I repaired it, but this top part is completely broken off. It's taped right now and glued. So, and just a couple miles ago on the rocks here in Pennsylvania, bent the tip. So I've ordered new trekking poles. Well, I think they're called Motems. They're only like 70 bucks, and I got them shipped to my cousin, and my mom is coming out next week, so she'll bring them and I'll have new trekking poles. So I'll be on my third set of trekking poles. All right, starting on the inside of my pack now. Usually have the melee on top because I take it off halfway through the day. And then tent on top, so it's the first thing that comes out and gets set up at camp. All right, for the rest of the gear, both what I'm wearing and in the pack now. So I'm still wearing the Ultra Olympus 4 shoes. This is the third pair, just a little different color. I do have general foot pain, but I think that's gonna happen no matter what shoe I use. But I haven't really had any blister problems or anything like that. I have switched the Super Feet insoles to just a Dr. Soul's $12 insole that you get at Walmart. It offers a little bit more cushion, I think. And then as far as socks, Inreach liners with the Smart Wool no-show socks. I'm having some issues with holes in the socks, which is to be expected after hiking 1,200 miles. So I'll be replacing those hopefully tomorrow at Cabela's. All right. So starting at the top of my pack, it is my down puffy. This really doesn't go in anything unless I know it's going to rain. Then it will go in my pillowcase, which I'll show you here in a second. Gloves. I'm not sending these home at all. It was pretty cold today. I thought with warmer weather I wouldn't really need these, but I think I'm gonna need these throughout the entire hike. Okay, so I started out with a bunch of Sea to Summit dry bags and realized pretty quick that those were not going to work for me, both for organizational purposes, and they did not do a very good job of keeping water out and things dry. So I went to Hyperlite. These are kind of pricey, but I love them. These are the pods that fit really well inside any Hyperlite pack. They come in two sizes, the small and the large. And I have 3 large size pods and 1 small size pod. So these will, the order of these in the pack will shift depending on how much food I have and the weight of each pod. So I'll start out with the heavier items in the middle and lighter items on the very bottom and very top. But the first one, this one's kind of like my junk drawer. It has all my electronics in a Ziploc, so chargers, light, cables, things like that. Toothpaste, toothbrush, those floss things. You know, I started out with the very small toothpaste tubes. I really didn't like it. I'm used to this brand of toothpaste, and I know it's heavy and big, but I don't know. Well, for me, it just makes me feel like I get a little better cleaning, so it's worth the extra weight to me. It's a luxury item that Rapture just pointed out. That's correct. Here's another luxury item. When I started with my brother, he started with deodorant. I did not, and I stunk really bad. So I said, screw it, I'll get a stick of deodorant that second week, and I felt way better. Don't get me wrong, I still probably stink, but I think I stink less by putting deodorant on. So I now use like the dry spray deodorant, both on my feet and my pits, and I think at minimum it makes me feel better. So another luxury item. I'm probably not going to go through this whole junk drawer, but I have my journal. I have the information about all the fallen agents that I read up on. I have the hard copy AWOL guide and a pen. I have an extra bladder here. I haven't used this since week 1 with my brother. This carries whiskey. I might use this again sometime. I don't know when though. So when we would go to hotels and you'd have to pay for laundry, they would typically give you like this crappy Tide dry laundry detergent that didn't get anything clean. So started buying our own, carrying these little Tide Pods. That way we already have them when we get to the hotels to do laundry. This is kind of like my medicine kit. So I have a multivitamin, I have Claritin, Flonase, Pepto, Benadryl, and melatonin, if I didn't say that already. These are the other insoles. I'm carrying them around just in case I need them. Just some other random stuff like Gold Bond, hand warmers, Visine, latex gloves, liquid bandage, Flonase, sewing kit, my Captain America glasses, can't get rid of those, bug net, which I really haven't used yet, a razor so I can shave my neck, and then a roller ball for rolling out my feet at night, which was chewed up by a dog recently that will remain nameless. Alright, so that's just this is kind of like my junk drawer. Like I said, ditty bag, everything goes in there. So this was a big change. So I started with the Z-Packs bear bag kit. So it was the Dyneema bear bag, and I would put an op sack in that, and I would do a bear bag hang every night. When my wife came to Damascus, I told her to bring the Ursack, which you see here. So I switched to the Ursack. And this might not be the most streamlined process. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I like having streamlined processes and being efficient and everything like that. And this kind of bothers me, but it's the best that I've come up with so far. So I put all of my food in one of the large Hyperlight pods, simply because it fits way better in my pack than it does if I put all the food in my Ursack. So each morning I will put all my food in this, and I'll put it in my pack, and then when I get to camp, I may or may not unpack all of it and put it in an op sack, and then put it in an Ursack. So you might be wondering, why did I switch from a bear bag kit, hanging kit, to an Ursack? Well, I just got tired of doing bear bag hangs. One particular night was the cold night on top, I can't even remember the mountain, but we were getting slammed with rain. It was cold, it was windy. We had to pitch our tents on the side of the trail, and Rapture, all he had to do was go tie his Ursack to a tree while I had to fight with hanging a bear bag. I think most people would have just slept with their food that night, but so I know it's a little bit extra weight, and like I said, it's extra steps that I have to take, but to me, out of the convenience of not having to find the perfect tree limb or whatever, it's just a lot easier. So it's more of a convenience thing for me than a weight thing. I prefer it, and I'm kind of glad that I did it. Okay, so next, you probably don't want to see my dirty feet. Hold on. So this is actually the small pod. I started the hike with a 10-degree enlightened equipment quilt, and just recently, I think within the last week or two, it was right before Harper's Ferry, I went to an enlightened equipment 40-degree quilt. So my 10-degree quilt had to fit in one of the big, larger pods. But this quilt, so I stuffed my Jetboil and the quilt, and it all fits in the small pod right here. And here's the quilt. It weighs half the weight of a 10-degree quilt, so pretty significant weight difference. And I've been happy with it so far. It was a cold night last night. I am missing one of the straps, which created some draft issues, but so far so good. I don't know if I'm going to have my wife send me back the 10-degree quilt or not for the whites. I know weather can get unpredictable there, so people have their thoughts on that. So if you have any suggestions, please leave a comment below. I'm curious to see what you think. So you saw in that same pod, I have my Jetboil. I know this weighs a lot more than, you know, something like a pocket rocket or some other stove, but once again, I like the convenience of this. It boils really quickly, and it packs down nicely in the pod that you just saw. So I love this thing. Okay, so if I know it's gonna rain or there's a high chance of rain, then I will stuff my puffy in this. This is the Z-Packs dry bag, but it also serves as a pillow because you can turn it inside out, and it's a dry bag. And then when you get to camp, what I do is I put my puffy in the dry bag, and this is my pillow. This was great for about a week and a half until the Velcro decided it didn't want to work anymore. So what you do is you kind of fold this in, and I'll tell you, every night I'm fighting with this because my puffy pops out and I'm constantly shoving it back in there because it just doesn't stay shut. So I'm looking for other options for pillows. I've never been a fan of the inflatable ones, but maybe I need to go back and try that again. All right, so for clothing, another large pod. All of my clothing goes in here. So I have the laundry bag with dirty clothes, cotton shirt for while at camp. You see the shorts that I have on, they're still the High Elite shorts. I started with another gray pair, but they were like the long version, so I ordered a different set with just the regular length. Compression socks, camp shorts. I don't know, I could probably get rid of a lot of clothes. I have two of the cool shirts that I hike in, one you see on, one black one. Various buffs, courtesy of Rapture. Captain America socks. I have a lot of socks. But the biggest thing with clothes that I wanted to point out is I started with merino wool 150 weight quarter zip and a merino wool 250 weight quarter zip. Once again, listening to everyone online that said it was going to be freezing and I would need all those layers. I think I wore the 250 weight once or twice, and then same thing with the 150. So I'm definitely comfortable enough now with just a t-shirt underneath. I can put the melly on, and if it's, for whatever reason, if it gets really cold, I can put the puffy on, and I should be plenty warm under the quilt. I might have my wife send me one of the merinos back. I'm not sure for the whites. That's another thing that I'm thinking about. But I do still have the leggings as well. So these are the 150 weight smart wool leggings, and I've only worn those maybe 3 or 4 times on this whole hike. So that is it. I don't use a trash bag liner. Haven't really had a problem yet, but that's pretty much it as far as all the gear. I don't know the exact weight of my pack. I don't really care, to be honest. We did weigh it a couple weeks ago at a hostel, and I think I was right around 30 with 4 days of food and water. So not too bad. It's been comfortable. Really can't think of anything else. More to come, y'all. All right, as far as the Z-Pack's duplex tent, no complaints. Rapture has the same one I do. One thing I didn't know getting it was the transparency. So you can really, on full moon nights, it gets pretty bright inside. But other than that, it's really not showing any signs of wear, no holes. It does have a pretty big footprint, so you need, and I'm just comparing it to my Nemo Hornet 2. It's much bigger, but weighs less, and lots of room inside. And what I like, this was something Rapture showed me. I never knew what to do with my pack, whether putting it inside or leaving it outside in the vestibule. But if you take a carabiner and just hook it to your trekking pole strap, it gets it off the ground and it doesn't take up any space inside the tent, which is cool. All right, y'all, hopefully this video was useful to some of you, maybe potential future thru hikers. Just wanted to share what I've updated. It was not meant to be an in-depth, review or list of all of my gear. If you want that, then go back to the first couple videos, and you can check out my lighterpack.com gear list as well. I'll be looking for the next video, which should come out in the next few days. Happy trails. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and more to come.